Hello, everybody. Welcome to Writers with Purpose. I am Melvese from Written Words Publishing. At Written Words Publishing, we envision a world where every storyteller, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to share their voice, shape narratives, and impact the world through the written word. And today, our guest will be Minister Sharon Rand. She is the author of God Whispers to the Preacher's Wife. It is uh, God Whispers to the Preacher's Wife is likely a title for a book, devotional, or collection of messages that offer spiritual encouragement to those in ministry leadership, focusing on the unique challenges and callings of a preacher's wife. The content explores themes of feeling alone, God hearing prayers, finding hope in ministry weariness, and receiving divine guidance. So let's welcome Minister Sharon Rand to the stage with us today. How are you doing today, Minister Rand?
I'm doing well, Melvise. How are you? How are you? Good to see your face. Good to see you.
Great to see you too. Welcome to the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the purpose behind writing God Whispers to the Preacher's Wife.
About myself and God Whispers to the Preacher's Wife. First of all, I am a preacher's wife. I've been a preacher's wife almost 28 years. And that was the reason why I started writing the book. I am currently an author, life coach for Christian women, and I advocate for preachers' wives. And the book came from over 20 years of my husband's preaching. I would write down everything that made me happy, that made me sad, that confused me, and even disturbed me sometimes. So it started out as a journal until someone said, you should turn that into a book. So I took some of the journal pieces and put it together. And it's a good book. It talks about how to navigate as a preacher's wife. Some of the stories are in there, are true stories of what I talked to God about. God would answer me in a whisper. And so I would come to him just as I am and say, God, what is going on? You called me into the ministry of the preacher's wife. I just learned how to be a wife, just learned how to be a mother, now a preacher's wife. God said, I called your husband to be the preacher. You just continue to be his wife. And so it kept coming up. And every time the prayer would end, it would be, Sunday is coming. And I would, give God the side eye, like, yeah, it's coming. So I would write down how I'm feeling about everything. And that's how the book came about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you mentioned that you're an advocate for the preacher's wives. What type of what does that entail? What exactly type of support do you provide for other preachers' wives?
Okay, I'm a coach for preachers' wives and Christian women in ministry. I help them move from a silent struggle to a spiritual strength. I coach them in navigating the different emotions that come along with being a preacher's wife. And sometimes that entails time management, conversations, how to move your children from this place to that place in a fashion where you're taking care of yourself as well. So I don't believe that just getting your hair and your nails done and wearing the 5-piece suit is all there is to being a preacher's wife. Sometimes the preacher's wife get a bad rep. So I encourage women to live their lives in a godly manner where God can guide them through the trials and the tribulations, because as preacher's wife, we still have the same issues, problems, and concerns of any other woman. We need time out, we need time up, we need time away, and we have to continue to incorporate God in it, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. And without that, you can't help your husband in the ministry, you can't help your children, and you definitely can't help yourself. So I help women navigate that transformation from that silent struggle where they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say what's really going on, because it's hard for the preacher's wife to find friends within the congregation, to find friends that understand what she's going through, or someone to even walk up to her in church and say, "How are you?" You don't know what she had to go through to get to that first pew. And some of us preachers' wives are very bold and outspoken, and we need to calm down a little bit and let God do what he has to do with our husbands. And we support our husbands. We are the help meet, not the help, against that. So that's what I do for those women.
I totally understand that. So when you got married, your husband was not a preacher
No,
yet.
not
Okay, so
yet.
what type of advice would you give to another wife who suddenly became a preacher's wife?
Well,
Totally unexpected it.
let me just share a brief story. I was the secretary in our church, a little family church that he grew up in. His family is there. And so, when they offer you fellowship into the church, the Baptist church, they put the chair out and you get up there. You either come for prayer, candidate for baptism, or something or other. So my husband decides to get up and get in the chair, and I have my little notepad. And I said, "You come for prayer?" He said, "No, I come for my calling." Calling? Who called? Who what? Who called? And I dropped the pen and paper. His mother's screaming. And I'm like, whoa, God, you didn't consult me before you told him he was going to be a preacher. Now my whole life is getting ready to change. The fishbowl, the glares, the look. All I can say is wait on the Lord, because I bucked against it. I fought against it. I said things that, he should have just divorced me when he became a preacher, because I wasn't ready. But I didn't realize it wasn't about me. It was about him and God. And my place was to continue to be a wife. It took some time now. It didn't happen overnight. I wasn't raised in the church, so I went back to school. I learned church songs. I did a lot of things that I had never done before, so I can support him. And so I got my degrees in Christian education, so I can support him. You don't want to be a preacher's wife and don't know anything about the Bible. You don't want to be in Sunday school and haven't read the lesson. You don't want to be in Bible study without a question. So I encourage preachers' wives to become a part of the ministry. You don't have to be the co-pastor, but you are in your home. So you have to make those things come together the best way that you can with God's guidance. So it didn't happen overnight. So ladies, take your time.
Definitely take your time and pray and listen out for God's word. So you mentioned that God whispered to you. Maybe give some of the future preacher wives or current preacher wives an idea of how to discern when you hear that whisper. How did you know that whisper was coming from God?
I knew because my conversation with him was always like I'm talking to my brother, my father. No, not my father, because he probably wouldn't understand, because he's a pastor too. God rest in his peace. I would know it was from God because I didn't listen to what the enemy was saying to me. I didn't even listen to what me was saying to me. And I prayed diligently, fervently to make sure it was of God. That's why I wrote it down, so I can go back and read it and I would take me out of it. But I was seeking God for myself already to help me, just be a good wife, a good mother, a good worker, on my job, a good friend, a good sister. So I knew that he was guiding me in a direction, but I didn't know which one. So for me to hear his whispers, there wasn't a loud sound, it wasn't crashing booms, because he knew how stubborn I am, how hard-headed I am. So he had to come close and whisper. And I would say, okay, God, all right. And in my book, I write those words that I say, you know what, I really didn't like what happened today. The ladies gave me a basket filled with stockings and makeup. Come to find out, it wasn't a love offering, it wasn't a gift. They didn't like my look. They didn't like my stockings. They didn't like my makeup. They did. My husband was the pastor of the church. So that was a wake-up call. And I did write that in my book, how I knew God was whispering to me, because if I had to answer to that basket, it wouldn't have came out the way God wanted it to. So I accepted it. I tried to do my best to wear the stockings, but I'm not a heavy makeup person. I accepted it, but that was 3 years of being the first lady in a church, and I write about some of those things.
Wow, wow. So your readers would definitely be able to get a glimpse of what you went through and how you overcame it, that
Yes,
could possibly help them figure out how to navigate through it and how they
yes,
can overcome it, right?
yep.
Well, what do you know now that you would tell yourself if you could go back and whisper in your own ear way back then?
I probably would tell myself to calm down, because I turned into a nervous wreck trying to be perfect. That doesn't exist. I tried to be the perfect wife, the perfect preacher's wife, the perfect mother, PTA, basketball, on time on my job, and trying to do all these things. Calm down. Take a deep breath. If this has been preordained, predestined for your life, and God has shown you your purpose, walk in it. Hold your head up and walk in it. So I would tell my past self to calm down. It wouldn't have took so many years for me to just realize this is your station now. This is your purpose, and you're going to be good at it because God said so, not me. And I strive every day to just do what God says to do in my marriage, in my ministry. I do um, send messages. I'm an ordained minister as well. So in my growing, I gained some knowing. So that helped me a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of our watchers here, one of our viewers, he said he heard you say it. Seek God for yourself.
Yes, seek God for yourself. You cannot live off of what your husband is praying for or seeking. You have to know him for yourself, what he's saying to you. And he'll let you know. That spirit of discernment will let you know what to share, what not to share, what to do, and what not to do. But if you don't have him within yourself, you're going to be living off of someone else's um, I don't know what you want to say, but I've lived off someone else's prayers to get me to here. But you can't live off of someone else's relationship with God. You have to have your own.
That's a great way to put it. You definitely have to have your own relationship with God. You have to be aware of your purpose and your part, the role that you play in His plan. That is definitely some good advice. Good advice. All right. Well, let everybody know where they can go and purchase your book.
Okay. My book can be purchased on my website, www.pulpitwife.com. And that is my affectionately known as name. I am the pulpit wife. And I got that name because my whole life revolves around the pulpit, in it, around it, out of it. And so that's it. You can also get the book on Amazon. The book is titled God Whispers to the Preacher's Wife. You get a signed copy from my website, if that's what you desire.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. Yeah, and there's the cover for you all, so you all can go and visit www.pulpitwife. And what else can they find out if they visit your website? What else do you have going on
Okay.
besides this book here?
Okay. I have 3 books on my website. I am in 4 anthologies that are coming up that will be on the website. I have my coaching program on the website. If you sign up for the emails, you will get a freebie on there, something to help you to just guide you through some of the times of being a preacher's wife. And I'm currently uploading a course that will help with some of these decisions that preachers' wives make. What else do I have on there? I have a podcast called Sharon Rand, the Pulpit Wife. It's on Spotify. I'm on Instagram, the Pulpit Wife, where I share some of everyday life stuffs um, on YouTube. Sometimes you'll see me cooking or planning or something like that, because preachers' wives, we still do stuff. We do stuff. We enjoy life. We know how to go out and enjoy life. We should do more of that and fellowship and network and stop being so separated and cliquey. But that's what you can find on my website. I love to smile, have fun, and I know how to put things in perspective, and those are shown on YouTube, Spotify. I'm on Facebook. You can join a group called the Epic Christian Woman Network. That's where I share a lot of my devotionals and encouraging words on there. And the Epic Christian Woman is a woman who has an expectation of God doing something, and she's doing something. She has purpose, she has intentionality, and she is consistent. That's the Epic Christian Woman. And you'll
Wow.
find that on my Facebook page. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all go to her website, check it out. Find her on Instagram, on Facebook. Epic, what is it? Epic Christian Woman?
Epic Christian Women
Epic
Network.
Christian Woman Network. That's great. So is that like a is there a support group for preachers' wives where like some place where just you all can get together and air out your grievances,
Well, there are groups here. There are groups here, but on Thinkific, I have a community on Thinkific, but I'm moving it to my Wix platform, so it'll be on my website where you could join a virtual community of preachers' wives. You know, a lot of times the virtual is better than in person because you reach worldwide, and they come in there. So
right.
that is something that you'll be hearing from soon. But if you go to my website, you can get all of that information. You can sign up for a newsletter and read the blogs that I have on there that are encouraging as well.
All
Mhm.
right, that's awesome. All right, well, all you preachers' wives out there and preachers' wives to be, I would suggest that you go ahead and connect with Dr. Sharon Rand and make sure that you don't have to go through some of the things that she already went through.
Mhm.
She tell you what to
Tell you.
look out for, what to do, what to say, what not to say, who you can go to, or just provide a nice support group if you need somebody to talk to that has been through what you are going through.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us here on Writers with Purpose today. It was so great having you here and getting a little insight into the preacher's wife, because a lot of times from the congregation's perspective, the
Mhm.
preacher's wife, she's like over there. you know?
Untouchable. She's
She's, she's
untouchable.
she's off limits, yeah.
And you don't have to be that glass figurine. You are not a trophy wife. You do not have to be that glass figurine. That's why I talk about the hat in my book. I wore the hat, the Evan Pecan shoes, the Giovanni suits. I mean, I was decked to the nine every Sunday. until I talked to God about it. He said, that hat will not save you. And that was my wake up call then. I dress modestly. I'm an older woman and I represent my husband. I represent the church and Christ. So those things like that, you want to be where the congregation can reach you. The young women can reach you. The children want to come and hug you. But if you're sitting over there all tight and, like you're going to break or you're going to wrinkle or they're going to get you dirty, you're not helping the ministry. So calm down. Calm down.
Calm down, calm down. You heard it, y'all. Calm down. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody for watching it. Y'all make sure that you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Everybody, if you go to church and you have a pastor, and it's a male and he's married, you have a preacher's wife in your midst that you may be able to help just by sharing this video. Yes, yes. Okay, one more comment from our viewer before we go. Irving Mosby says, don't put yourself in a bubble.
No.
Do not put yourself in a bubble. You are not a showpiece.
No, you will suffocate in that bubble.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and we will see you all on the next episode of Writers with Purpose. You all have a blessed day. Bye bye.